Today is the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Fall River Division, owned and operated by John Parker. So here we are, and this is the Fall River Division right here. And underneath this house is 3,000 square feet of railroad, and the proud owner, John Parker, standing there talking with Mr. Jim Laughlin from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the tall timbers and Santa Fe person today, and play with trains. And if you're going to do anything as far as things in front of your house, you want to have a mile marker, whistle sign, and a derail sign. So you walk in the front door, as I showed you from outside, and you come in here and to the trains, okay? You walk down into the basement, which gets to be interesting. So it's 3,000 square feet down here in this basement, and 2,700 of it is trains. Okay, so I don't know whether this is going to fit in the video, but this is the workroom, okay? You know, if you're going to have a railroad this size, you got to have a place to work. Kits, I guess, that you could say right there that are in the process of doing. A paint booth, your paint, the remnants of all the stuff you can't get anymore, and of course a test track and so forth. The next thing is you have to have a crew lounge, okay? And with the crew lounge, you have to have a lot of videos to play. And we have a ton of videos. We have a whole bunch of VHS videos, magazines, and DVDs. So, and of course, with this crew coming today to operate here, you know, you have to keep the level of sugar on a high level. So we have lots of stuff. This railroad is probably, and I've said this in the other video from a few years back, the ultimate in the true experience of operating a railroad is you can get. So if you're going to have a railroad this big and you're going to outdo it, you have to have the dispatcher's office. And this is the railroad, and these are the trains. I don't know how good this is coming out. Now, he uses JMRI operations. We'll just kind of leave it at that. And this is the overlay program, the gentleman who wrote the overlay program on JMRI. Katz, I believe it is. He lives here, and he operates on this railroad. So someone will get this position who's really into the dispatch thing, and today. And of course, we have all the BNSF calendars, which makes life real nice. Memorabilia. So this is the crew quarters. If you're on the extra board, you'll come in and out of this room a couple times during the day. The other aspect of getting ready, John's putting the batteries in the controllers.
Got to do that.
Well, we talking about 19 or 18 people today?
Probably 20 operators today.
20 operators today. So, in this railroad, 20 operators is, believe me, it's not an issue. So, but as an owner operator myself, it's just all the things you have to do to get ready. And inevitably, as happened the other night, a solder connection came loose on the reverser.
Uh-oh.
Yes, and it didn't work well, so caused issues. And they always happen when you're having 20 people to come over to operate. So this is Fall River. I'm not that familiar with this railroad. I've run it several times, but this is the middle of the railroad. The interesting thing here I got to point out is that the backdrop here. I know where every piece of this came from and who made it and so forth. Some of you people who watch this video who play with the model trains know this. So the interesting, a lot of this is no longer available. A tip here, if you get your hands on original scenery backdrops, don't use them. Go to Office Depot, copy them, use the color copies, mount them up, spray them with stuff, lacquer, spray, and then mount them on the wall. So, one of the jobs here is they have to hostile engines. There'll be a person here who will run Fall River, and then he will have someone who will work the industries. So this is the way it goes. Okay. Now, so you come out of Fall River and you come around here, and this is a big helix. This is a mushroom layout. If you don't know, so you understand what a mushroom layout is, I just came up 2 steps. So you don't have levels of the layout, you raise the floor level. So I guess basically I went up about 2 feet. So this opens up the helix a little bit for some of it. Now the rest of the helix is hidden in here. So you come up to this level from here on the inside track. The outside track goes into staging, okay? And I'm going to go do staging this morning before everybody gets here. So this is, you come up here the helix, and this is Preparation Canyon. That's good. Okay. He takes a little bit of license with some of this. CP West. And these are all the things. Now, as you can see, we don't have all the scenery done here. Now, from the last time I was here, I will tell you there's more industries here. And all this right in here where you're starting to see ballast is new for me. Nice big green setup. The key here for me is to get looking like this. But this is the scene coming down the track, main line. Very deep, whoever built the kits, I don't know if it was John or one of his co-workers. You're going to see this throughout the layout, very detailed. You see the little lights over the doors for the silo doors. A lot of detail. Trucks coming in to get loaded or drop off, whatever the case may be. I'm sure that the loading area goes both ways. And the effective backdrop to create the illusion of distance. So that scene is new. Now the railroad staged, and we have one of the first trains out is sitting here ready to go. Okay. Here's the coal company. This is one operation on the coal where one person will run the coal trains back and forth all day long. That's his whole job during the whole session, but it's not a bad job. My hope is, and I've made arrangements with John, I supposedly we'll get a coal train so we can run it across the layout, and we'll videotape it with the thing in operation. So here you see it. Now, staging, I mentioned staging. Staging is back here, okay? That's the entrance to staging. So we came through the hole, and that's a little more than a foot, and we've stepped down again. This is BNSF Fall River Division. Now, you see the extensive use of cameras and video screens. This is technology Railroad A #1 Plus, the big helix coming down from where we were before, where you saw that Amtrak train sitting, that's right up there. And this is the helix. And we have more, all the little stage trains. The boxes for the coal loads. You load your coal train. You have to load the train. We'll show you that. So when it comes down here, they take the loads out the car, put them back in the boxes, and then they send them back where they're loaded. Everything is well labeled and marked, as you see. Everything's done in laminated cards. All the engine cards. Okay. And this is the Union Pacific side of the railroad. Right here, if you go outside, you'll see the pass-through boxes. You put your ID card in here when you're looking for a train, and you put it in arriving. You drop it in there with your cards from your last run, and then when they call your name, it's put out through that one. So very, very effective system. Now, like I said before, they're using JMRI operation, and if anybody has ever played it, this, you'll recognize this screen. Here's your trains, printed. A lot of the stuff is ready, and this is the trains we'll probably be running today. More information as to the more trains. So, like I said, you're in the situation and he's in with the people around him. They went in and modified the program a little bit to make it work for what exactly they're doing here. And here's another screen monitoring the other places. This is Marshall, and this is Lincoln over here. So it kind of tells you where the tracks go, and when you're down here, where to send the trains to. Pico switches. This is, I think, all power outed stuff, so that you want to keep the power off your equipment when it's not being used, and the Pico does that real well. Good old Atlas rail re-railers, invaluable. And of course we have here, and sometime today this probably will run the Boeing train. So we're going to deliver the Boeing aircraft bodies. So interesting. Today I think they go all the way to South Carolina. Just a little plug there. So we have the rail train in the back. We have a coal train, gondolas empty, and hopper train, tank train, another tank train, grain train. This is more about the railroad in a modern era. You're not going to see, there are a lot of locals and there's a lot of stuff, but this is about the modern era. Okay, so we're going to come back up here and we're going to talk about the railroads that come out here. Now, there's 4 different places to go in and come out, so it's kind of hard to say. And you run down there and you run around here, you come down through the helix, and this is probably the longest route on the railroad. We'll get up there later. You come through here and you run through Fall River Division, Fall River, the town, the spot on the railroad. You're not going to see a lot of offline structures on this railroad. This railroad is, like mine and many people in the hobby, it's about trains and model train operations. So we're focused on the railroad. This is the intermodal yard. You're coming up top for the mainline engine. A lot of work's been done in this area. This is a lot of detail work that was not here before. This is good. Detail. Love detail. We're going to have the guys in here working on the pipe, the storage tanks. Did you see this, Jim? With the light.
Doing maintenance.
With the light.
Maintenance in there.
With the light and everything. So
He put in a new phone system.
Now, you know, here's a building that I've seen used 50 different ways. You don't have to build the building that comes in the wall, just box people. This is a great example of it right here. Okay. Two kits that have been significantly kit bashed. Okay. So you're running down through here, and this is one of the premier scenes on the railroad to me. You come across the river, and of course my favorite scene right here. See if I can get this for you. Okay. The back scenery there is a mirror. This is a great example of how effective use of a mirror is. You want to be able to cut it off so the picture comes out. And I'll get up here at an angle that you can tell. You have to lean the mirror. I'm right up against the wall, so that's how you do it. You're picking up the road, but you're going to have to play with the angle of the mirror, in and out. One side's going to be out more than the other side, and leaning it back and forth till you get it right. And of course, more of the roads disappearing. Always curve off the road when you're headed to the backdrop. That way it disappears. Alright, so continuing on down the road here. You continue into this. And I'm going to have to play a little bit dumb here. And now I'm going to shoot all this again when we're operating. I'm just going to do it this way. Now you're heading into another helix. And another example of a great road scene disappearing off into the distance. This whole scene that you're seeing right here is probably just a little over a foot. Okay? So, again, how you make it come out. That's a helix. You're going into a helix, coming out of the helix. Okay? So you come up here. Again, it's a mushroom layout. I just walked up 2 steps. A little bit more than a foot. And you come back here. Now you're reaching the summit of the railroad. Okay, ooh, we got all kind of work done up here. We have a little diorama here. Narrow gauge. Don't know if he has any plans of putting anything in. Was a tool tech, or he could do the thing. Now, also, because we're getting the height here, and you gotta work this area to stop the people who are short with their elbows hitting scenery, which is not here yet. You can walk, and I'll show you, give you the idea what happens. You can stand up and get down. So here we have clear water paper and all the trees. We're going up in elevation up here. Now, I have a feeling this is just a Y. Okay, in fact, that's what it is. It's the Western Y. Some of these switches, to work them here, you have to have a key. Otherwise, everything's controlled by that switch right there. It's controlled by the dispatcher. Okay, so we now have a whole bunch of trees up here. Wow. Yeah. So, this is all new scenery for me. I don't know when it's done. Like I said, it's been several years since I've been here, so this is all new as far as scenery. All these sheds and the company here is all new. And of course, this is the Great Trestle, another great scene here. This is all new. Oh, sorry. That's a. So here we have the loads for the pulp or for the wood chips. So you have to load your wood chip cars. So as you come across the trestle, continuing our journey, you come down here. This is another scene that's all new, was not finished last time we were here, as per the YouTube video that's posted now. Snow sheds are all finished. And you come around here. And all this scenery is finished. It's funny. We have a staged train up here. Okay, notice the signals. Love his signals. I can see them. Okay. Of course, we have the goats on the mountain. Okay. All the cast rock work. All right. Now, again, multi-level layout. This is not too much of a mushroom section over here. So I'm going to turn around and look back here. So you see the lower level. It's not a helix. This is a branch line back, much as it was when I was here last time. So this is a branch line that, you know, this is one of the locals that will run over here. So this is... Okay, all right. You got the flares burning on the road. So you come and push the buttons and they run for so long. Neat. Another great scene. Some wood chip cars, MRL junction. We have the BNSF person, supervisor, inspector. Street light is lit. Notice the concrete ties, which is very prototypical for this part of the country. My big decision here is how am I going to handle this on the YouTube channel. I don't, you know, do I try to work? I thought about going back and get the old clips when it wasn't scenery and then put new clips.
That might be neat.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Good morning again.
So here we are with the, this is the loop, climbing loop. For you SP fans, you may say this is Tehachapi Loop, but whatever. This is, you're coming down here the way we were running, and you come all the way around. This is a helper portion. You have to pick up helpers going the other way. This gets into a heavy area of the railroad. Junction, Jordan Junction. A lot of traffic through here during an operating session. Kimber Yard. These are all the helpers here. This is a position during the thing that they have a yard operator here, and there's a couple locals come out of here. This is a all the helpers get put on here.
This is about the best use of a mirror I've ever seen.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. You don't even realize, you know, you really have to look at it. I mean, it's only when you get right down here that you can see. But even when you look right there,
well, look at this.
Okay,
all you Mid-South fans, eat your hearts out. And he's got a GP10 too. And of course, the big scene here, which is very, very prototypical. Scenery right in here.
How you doing?
Good. So, showed this in the last videos, but we got to show it again. I don't know how I'm going to handle this as far as putting the two together or what. Just another great effective use to create the big illusions. Okay. Gonna speed along a little bit here because we're getting up close to 9 o'clock. Now you come around here and you're going into a helix, okay? There you go. BNSF Fall Railroad, okay. So you're going into a helix. I showed this. This is not new, but you want to keep track of where your engine is. You're at the bottom and you watch the lights and it goes up inside and outside. There's 2 tracks, and you come out back there and you come here. Now, this is going to cold country back here. This is CP Junction, one of the very unique operations in the world on a model railroad. One of the problems that the coal companies have had over the years is hobos get in the cars. Well, you got to look for the hobos here. There's your camera, and here's your picture. So when you're loading your train, you have to inspect the cars first for the hobos. It's in the instructions. You have to read it. So if you ever come here and operate, I thoroughly warn you to check the cars because there's hobos in them. And that's, you'll find when there's the security people to pick up the hobos. So you come around and you load your train right here. And there's your loads. They're in the boxes. And hopefully this is what we'll get to do one of these. There's a whole bunch of these trains. It's a good way to keep operators busy running coal trains around. A little bit of scenery work's been done here, particularly in the background. You access this through this building. If you're going to work back there in the back, that building comes off and I can look through the door and actually see the hole, okay? So you can stand up in there and get to the back. Okay, so we've got scenery here. Now the coal train makes the loop and it goes back the way we came. This is another part of the railroad, another branch line. And this is a train. Last time I was here, I was setting up this train to run and got it all put together and the session ended. So there we go. This has not changed as far as this area. This is Richland. If you come up, this train's coming out of staging and you go into staging in the back, and this is the end of your run basically. The way you go. This is, I've got some detailed video on this I do not plan on taking down. This is really some terrific scenery in here. Again, just outstanding detail on everything that's been done. Again, we came up, this is the ceiling. Just not, you know, it's the guy who's with us, it's 6'8", is going to have a hard time fitting in here. It's about what the ceiling is. It's a good example of ceiling right there. Okay, I was using, no, don't crouch down you. See, this gentleman here is right at 6 feet, so you can see the ceiling heights.